And joining us now here on Locked on Buckeyes is a man that we did a couple shows together with last year during draft season as the Titans ended up picking up Nicholas Petit-Frere in last year's NFL draft. And then now it's the draft coming up. A couple Buckeyes are on the radar of the Tennessee Titans. Is Tyler Rowland, the host of Locked on Titans. Tyler, welcome back to Locked on Buckeyes.
Yeah, absolutely. As anybody who listened to our conversations last year would know, I am a Buckeye native, born and raised in Ohio. I'm a big Buckeyes fan, as well as the Titans fans remind me when I get too excited about CJ Stroud as a project. They'll remind, oh, this is just Buckeye nonsense. But yeah, so love coming on Locked on Buckeyes and chopping it up with you. It's a nice crossover for me.
Always. It always is. And we've been doing a lot of draft stuff as the draft is literally a couple, 2 or 3 weeks away, getting a lot of preparation and getting some more hosts like yourself from the Locked on NFL family here on the show to hear about what you guys are thinking about Buckeye players and if it's the right spot for them in the upcoming NFL draft. The Tennessee Titans currently have the number 11 pick in the first round of the NFL draft. And my first thought is go big, go heavy, go beef, go Paris Johnson Jr., but also, if there's a receiver in Jackson Smith-Njigba available at number 11, if Paris Johnson Jr. goes earlier, there's a couple players there that might be options. But first, Paris Johnson Jr. You added a Buckeye last year on the right side of the offensive line. Titans could easily add another guy that's a Buckeye for the left side of the offensive line this year.
Yeah, and I've been banging the table for Paris Johnson Jr. now. As we get closer to the draft, there is the potential that Paris Johnson Jr. is not available for the Titans. His stock is going higher. And anytime that you can get an ideal sized 6'6", got the weight, a guy who I have been saying all along, he's got an offensive line body with skill position feet. Yeah. And the Titans system that is a zone run system, they prioritize athleticism for offensive linemen. They need to be able to execute combo blocks and reach blocks and get up to the second level, even the offensive tackles. I just think Paris Johnson's skill set is perfect for what the Titans need. And you add in the fact that they released longtime left tackle Tyler Rowland earlier this season due to injury concerns and salary cap concerns and all that. So not only does Paris Johnson Jr.'s skill set line up with what the Titans need, but the position lines up perfectly with the Titans' biggest need. They did sign Andre Dillard, a left tackle who was a backup for the Philadelphia Eagles in free agency. But I have been saying throughout the process that the Titans can't look at any of these Band-Aid free agent signings that they've made and let that prevent them from drafting a long-term answer, which I do believe that Paris Johnson Jr. would be at left tackle.
I'm right there with you. I do believe, talk about a long-term option or a fixture right there at left tackle. He's the kind of guy you want. You want a guy, especially if you're drafting somebody that high, maybe the first tackle off the board in the upcoming draft. You want a guy who you think is going to be a fixture, left tackle, 8, 10, 12 years on your team, a solid 2-3 contract kind of guy. You also want someone that has the brains, that's smart enough to play the position, because it's one thing to be elite in college. It's another one to simply be good or above average in the National Football League. And I do believe the skill set, what the Titans want on offense and the kind of scheme they run, that fits Paris Johnson Jr. But when you add his brains and his smarts into it, you're getting a guy that can be kind of a big piece and be a kind of the brains and the smarts on the offensive line that you want for someone that's going to be a 2-3 contract kind of guy for your team over the next 8, 10, 12 years.
Yeah, not only do you want the skill set in the football player, I think the Titans are an organization that's very focused on character and football guys who live and breathe the game. When you have a guy like Mike Vrabel, who obviously former Buckeye, is a guy who played that way and who lived his life that way, that's the kind of player he thinks will be successful in the NFL. And honestly, at the end of the day, it comes down to if you're a decision maker and you're going to give a guy millions and millions of dollars and trust him to protect your franchise quarterback, you want to be able to trust not only the skill set, but the person themselves. It comes down to a regular job interview at that point of, do I trust this person in my business in a vital role? And I think you can get the total package with Paris Johnson, which is why, once again, I've been standing on the table and pounding the table for Paris Johnson to be the pick for the Titans if he's there, regardless of their needs at other positions.
And also, just me kind of thinking back to the 2021 season and how the Buckeyes kind of changed and rearranged some things at the offensive line. Nicholas Petit Frere and Paris Johnson Jr. already played together. Like they already played football together. And so the thought of having guys that not just play college ball together, but also potentially playing football together in the NFL, that's going to be an added piece to the pie for the offense because there's going to be a Buckeye on the right side, potentially a Buckeye on the left side. That's what coaches want, guys that already have chemistry and can continue that chemistry and cultivate more chemistry once they're teammates at the professional level.
I think a big thing for the Titans, too, is getting guys who have real big-time experience at the college level. So like you're talking about, obviously that chemistry is there, but when you get to the next level, you can't have guys who are like, whoa, these are athletes that I've never seen before.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? I mean, at Ohio State, you're going up against some of the best. I mean, think about a Lucas Van Ness from Iowa, who might be a top 15 pick, a Big Ten guy. So you look at that, that's the kind of thing that the Titans started looking at last year. And I think that had a lot to do with Nicholas Petit Frere being picked. The Titans wanted Power 5 conference guys who have been in big football games, played against the best prospects in the country. I don't mean to, lift up a guy by putting down another guy, but in 2021, in the second round, the Titans took Dylan Radins out of North Dakota State. And, he had all the athletic profile and all of that, but get to the NFL level and he wasn't necessarily ready to deal with the type of people that you're going to have to block at the NFL level. You don't got to worry about that when you take a player out of Ohio State. So that's why the Titans felt comfortable with Nicholas Petit Frere last year, who coincidentally, to bring the conversation full circle, beat out Dylan Radins for the starting right tackle spot, even though Radins was a second-year player and a second-round pick. Petit Frere, as a third-round pick, beat him out for a starting job. So I think when the Titans start doing the calculus of what they're looking for, having that Power 5 guy with real big-time experience in Paris Johnson checks them. Again, we just continue to check so many boxes, and it just gets me more and more excited every day that the Titans could end up with Paris Johnson Jr. as their long-term left tackle, holding down that position for the next, hopefully, decade.